everybody, another soap to make today. It is Monday, the 8th of January, and today I'm making Rocksalt Seashell soap, and in this one I'm going to put a minimal amount of like a turquoise and cobalt blue mix of mica, because I want pale blue, not a deep blue. And then I've got some white soap pieces which are dusted in cocoa, which I'm going to put throughout the soap so it just has some kind of contrast. And then on the top I've got some Himalayan pink salt just to do a little sprinkle. So soaping kind of warm, but not too warm. So I'm just going to pour my lye into my oils and stick blend. And this again is another one colour soap. So I mentioned in my last video I'm going to do lots of just one colour soaps because I want to have an array of colour, but like solid colours in the workshop. So I'll do that again just to put my stuff in. So close your ears, and I will edit this out anyway. Okay, so we've reached the emulsification stage. I'm just going to add the colour. Stay still. Here we go. Now we're going to discuss another murder case in a minute once I'm finished stick blending. And this time we're going to discuss the JonBenet Ramsey case, which I've just finished watching the CBS documentary on YouTube. We didn't get it in the UK like on our TV, so I had to resort to YouTube to find it. So I want to just sort of talk about it for a bit, because it's something I followed since it happened, which is back in '96. I was about 23. So we'll talk about that in a sec. Let me just get this colour. I'm just going to stick blend again slightly. Okay, I've got like a sea blue. I've got my little Christmas tree here today just to add some light because it's really dark outside. And I was thinking about keeping it out and using it as just a tree in the window, so each season I can put different things on it, because it's not really a Christmas tree. It was bought back in the summer. It's just a tree. Okay, so this is done. So I'm just going to bring the mould over and get this poured in. It's thickened up quite a lot, so I have to move. Okay, so JonBenet Ramsey. I don't know if, like what they're insinuating in this CBS drama, not drama, but the CBS documentary about the brother. I'm not really sure whether I agree that it was Bert Ramsey that killed JonBenet. I'm not really sure at all, because I've read so many other things before that came out that was, it sort of insinuated that there was a string of sexual abuse, and there was evidence apparently to show that she'd been sexually abused for a number of years, and that's what made me think it was a big cover-up, not only by the family but by the DA office. The guy that was in the programme, he acted very strangely, you know, and the reluctance to interview the parents about it was like, is this more of a cover-up for lots and lots of different people, or, you know, the theory for Burke having done it, I think, is really viable with the pineapple and all that kind of thing, and his age. He maybe did get angry at her for taking the pineapple, and he may have resented her for all kinds of different reasons. But I don't know whether it's just a cop-out, or I don't know. I just don't know. But the two guys, like the two people that did the investigation, I follow them on their podcast, the Real Crime Profile podcasts, Jim Clemente and Laura Richards. So I really do like them too. I mean, they're very intelligent people. And so I'm inclined to believe their theory, but it's just kind of weird. There's so many other things about the case that make me think, was it really the brother, or was it the mother, was it the father? I've also read like a medium's account of this, and she put out there that it was the mother that hit JonBenet because she was jealous of JonBenet's relationship with one man in particular that was in a position of power. So this is what made me think, hang on, what about all these theories that something really sinister was going on with people in really high places, like there was a paedophile ring or something. This had all come out before, so it's kind of, do you just dismiss that, or, you know, I don't know. Let me know what you think down below, because there's so many theories about this case. But the father is very strange. I do find him, well, they're all very strange. I mean, Burke's very strange in any interview that he's ever been in. There was one thing that stood out to me that they didn't mention in this documentary. When they questioned him and showed him the picture of the pineapple on the kitchen table, he hesitated. They mentioned a lot about this part of the programme, but he hesitated, and then he said, "Oh." And the "oh" was what made me, like, he's sort of like, "Oh, you're going to mention that." And it's like, if he did it and that was the cause, because he didn't want her to have any pineapple, then he's like, it's like a kid caught out, you know, or like a rabbit in the headlights kind of situation. So that bit, they didn't even talk about the "oh" that he said. They just talked about his body language and how he was like leaning over it and acting really strangely when, you know, if a kid that wasn't guilty would normally just say, "Oh, it's a bowl of fruit," or "it's a bowl of something," you know, they would go straight to it and say that's what it was. But he didn't. He was hesitant and he was reluctant to answer then. So that did make me think, maybe it is him then. It's kind of so difficult, and when you followed this for all these years, like so many of us have, it's kind of like, which theory do you believe? It's difficult to know what to believe. So I'd be interested to see what my subscribers think, my friends here, what you all think. I love all these, like, you know, these cases. I love watching them and listening to them. I listen to lots of podcasts about murder and stuff. A bit sinister, but it's just something that I like to listen to. I don't know why, but there's lots of us out in the world that do like it. And it's, I think Matt thinks I'm weird. He's just like, "Oh, why would you want to watch those things?" But it's not like any reason really, other than I'm intrigued, especially getting into the mind of a murderer, because, well, let's face it, they're not all there, are they? They're not normal. And I like to sort of follow investigations where they're trying to find out the motive or the reason, and sometimes when there's no reason, they're just nuts or they've lost their minds. I find it really fascinating. I should have trained to be part of the FBI. I just love these cases so much. But the JonBenet, it's heartbreaking to me. It really is, because I think that there's something way more than meets the eye. I don't think that it's just a case of the brother and the pineapple and a parent's cover up. I think there's way more. There's like something else. It was about her trips to the doctors for yeast infections, and somebody on some programme had said that she'd been more than 30 times to the doctor for that. That's not normal, unless a child has been molested or sexually abused. Surely you wouldn't have a child with that many counts of a yeast infection. Oh God. I think it goes a lot further than has ever been said, or maybe has been said, but I think there's too much cover up. So I don't think we'll ever really get to the bottom of it, but it's very interesting. So anyway, there's Rocksalt and Seashell made. So yeah, leave me some, God, that's really hardened up. Leave me some comments, and let's see what everybody thinks about that case if you've followed it, because it's so interesting to me just to see what people think or what people believe. Because I mean, the power of suggestion in so many posts and so many videos and so many this and that can really mess with your mind and can really make you feel a certain way or think a certain way or convince you of something. So I'm not convinced of any of it, but I am convinced that there was sexual abuse happening to this girl. There's a picture in particular on Google which somebody pointed out in some group I'm in. There's a particular picture of her. If you just Google JonBenet into images, Google Images, there's one in particular that makes me think that even I, as a woman, couldn't give the look that she's giving. It's very suggestive and very sexual for a 6-year-old girl, and it's just, she's got red lipstick, you'll know the picture, and it's just, that made me think this girl knows kind of more than she should for her age then. Anyway, I'm going to move on to my next soap. So there's somebody walking past the window very slowly. I'm going to move on to my next soap. I'm going to be making Seville Orange next. But I'm not going to film that one because it's just a soap that discolours to brown and I don't need to film that. So I'll be back for this one for the cut. But thank you for all your suggestions for Netflix programmes, by the way. There's a lot in there that I hadn't heard of, so I've got to do a search and see if I can find some of them that appeal to me. So that was cool. Continue to make suggestions on that last video, and I'll see you for the cut for this one tomorrow. Okay. See ya. Okay. Hello everybody. It's the next day. So I just came to cut Rocksalt and Seashell, which I've done here. I'm going to show you something strange happened to it. Okay, the outside looking like this. Can you see this? This brown horrible mottling. I don't know why it's done it, but hang on, there's somebody with a great big bloody truck. FedEx man. Okay. It's the fragrance oil has riced inside the soap, but it's made it go like a funny brown colour on the outside. So I've cut it and planed them all. Let me bring them in close. They're so pretty that I'm a bit, you know, a bit miffed that this has happened, but let me show you. You can see like the ricing and the mottling, but look how pretty they are. But there's like this weird mottling and where you can see where the soap has riced. See? So I'm hoping that that's not going to go brown and ruin my soap. We'll have to see, wait and see. I've got some end pieces to just sort out. Anyway, I'm going to cut the other one instead that I didn't have a video for, and that one is Seville Orange, which is just starting to discolour. This one I know goes dark brown. I've not made it for a long time, so we'll cut that one while we have a little ramble. And see. It's not very interesting, the other one, because it's just a plain brown. Well, it will be a plain brown soap with a orange mica swirl on the top. So I've got sea salt everywhere from the last one. 2 cloths. Right, so cutter. Okay. So I've been answering some of your suggestions for Netflix programmes, and there's so many now that I've got to watch. Like some people really went down on the comments, like letting me know lots and lots of different things I can watch. So I'm really grateful, thank you, because you know sometimes you're scrolling past and it says ideas for Tiggy, recommendations for you, and you're like, you start watching something and then not really be into it, and if you've got recommendations from other people who've watched it, like that's a good thing. So I'm going to be watching Mindhunter and Dark, which is one I've wanted to watch anyway because I'm a massive Twin Peaks fan, and in the Twin Peaks secret group that I'm in, They mentioned dark and said it's really good, so that's worth a watch. That'll be a bit hard again. So yeah, there's lots and lots of things to watch. So as you can see, this is just plain, look, and it will go completely dark brown. The smell is really good. It's like a really nice orange with pastry notes and vanilla notes. It's just really, really nice. So I did like a orange swirl on the top, so it will be like a chocolate orange kind of a deal. Okay, so what we've got to talk about today, I won't talk any more about the JonBenet murder case because I've talked about that yesterday, but you can talk about it in the comments and then we'll see what everybody thinks. So a good thing about doing these type of chit chat videos is you get to know how other people tick, and it's funny how like attracts like you sort of attract the right kind of people on YouTube to your channel. Not always, but most of the time, you know, you end up with an army of you that all sort of feel the same way about different things and like watching the same things, and it's really nice to have that little community on this channel because, you know, I've left this channel for quite a time. I didn't do any videos. I just sort of lost interest in YouTube and I just was getting busy with business, and I should have made the effort, is what I should have done, because by now my channel would have grown quite considerably. Not that that matters that much, but you know, the point of doing it is to grow and to become better. I don't want to be like megabucks rich or anything like that, like some YouTubers, like the beauty gurus. Have you seen what they earn? It's like Desi Perkins. I love Desi Perkins and Luster Lux. I love those two. They're my two top beauty gurus. I love them. And they earn like so much money a year. And then there's people like Jenna Marbles who are like, I like Jenna Marbles, she's great too, she's a good person. And she earns a ton. And there's like, you know, you can sort of look this stuff up, but it's kind of interesting how much money people actually make. And in schools now, you've got kids who are asked what they want to be when they grow up and they say, YouTuber. I'm like, really? But it's, you know, of course they do. Of course they do. They say like, they see these other people becoming successful and getting flowed loads of product for free that they review on their channel and get them flown to Bora Bora. Of course they want to be a YouTuber. I'd want to be a YouTuber if I was in my 20s and watching these people, you know. So, we'll see how I get on, but I'm not doing this for megabucks because I'm quite happy with what I've got. And we all need a little bit more. We could all do with a little bit more, and we all strive to do better, but, you know, I don't strive to do better in the case like, oh, I want everything, because I don't. I'm quite happy with what I got. You know, there's always something we want. Mine is usually a new pair of Nikes. So I like my Air Max, which I have on today. They're my favourite shoes because they're so damn comfortable, and I feel like I'm walking on Air Max, obviously. But I've been Air Max 90 fan since the 90s. I've worn them for years. I'm also a massive fan of Vans, and I love my Vans shoes, but when I wear my Nikes, my feet are just like, oh God, they're so comfortable. Matt laughs at me because he thinks I'm a chavvy. He's a skateboarder, so of course everything that he wears is so much better than what I wear. He wears like American shoes. I used to wear all those things, and they're all like, you can't get lots of girls' clothes anymore and that I like, so you'll see I've had this jumper on a while. Matt bought me this for Christmas, and it's, at the moment the weather is so cold that this jumper is so cosy, so I just keep washing and wearing it because it's just the best. And this is from a company called White Stuff, and they're here in the UK. They're just, it's really nice quality clothes. Anyway, what I was going to say was these jeans I've got on today, I'm not going too far, you see my belly hanging over the top. But they were too tight. I always like buy the same size, so I'm like a 30 waist, 32 leg. And this brand that I've been wearing lately is Superdry. They're a well-known brand, but their jeans are really, really good. And the owner of the company lives in the next town over. He's from Cheltenham. So I've been wearing his jeans for some time, and they're really, really lovely. They last for ages. So I bought this new pair at Christmas because they had the sale on. They were like half price, so I bought a pair. And they were ever so slightly too small. I thought, that's obviously Christmas pudding, cake, pie, everything I've been eating over Christmas. But then I thought, no, hang on, because the waist is the same size and the other ones I've got in the same size fit perfect. So I looked up on WikiHow how to stretch out a pair of jeans. So these have already got stretch in them, but I needed just a little extra, like a centimetre more would be like the perfect fit. So last night, I took them out of the wash to hang them to dry and put them on while they were wet, because this is what WikiHow says to do. So you put the wet jeans on and then you squat right down as far as you can go with something lodged inside the jeans. They say to put like 2 deodorant bottles in the jeans, but I'd never have got 2 deodorant bottles, so I stuck my hands in and squatted down and like stretched and stretched as much as I could. And what do you know, it worked, and it's like stretched it just that little bit, so now they like feel like my perfect pair of jeans. So it works. I was stunned because I thought there's no way this is going to work, but it actually did. So I'm really happy. So if you've got a pair of jeans that you could just do with a little extra, put them on while they're wet, do your squats, stick a couple of deodorant bottles in if you can, and have a go. It works. So that was a good little trick that I thought, yeah, it worked. What else have I got to tell you? I've got a grumpy dog. She really isn't liking this January weather. It is like last night, we went to bed and it was so cold. I bought some wood and I bought some coal. We've got like centrally heated house, but we like our open fire as well, especially at this time of year. So I went and bought wood and coal, and the wood was wet when I got it home. Like, it obviously been sat somewhere wet, but it didn't look wet when I bought the bag. But so we were trying to light a fire. So I got the kindling, which was fine, dry, and I got some other bits of wood that I've picked up on dog walks and stuff like that I just shoved in a bag. And you know, they're little tiny logs of like hawthorn or whatever. They've been chopping the hedgerows down, so I always like try and get some free wood because I never want to pay for wood. So anyway, it was just freezing cold, and it was that kind of cold it gets like in your bones. So I put on my fleecy house trousers, my like pyjama bottoms, and actually wore them to bed. Sexy. So we got into bed last night and I got my pyjama bottoms on, which I never do. I normally wear just a t-shirt and my knickers. This could be TMI, but anyway, I put these my trousers on and my socks because it was just too cold. An extra blanket on the bed. It was just, I don't know what it was, but like even on the iciest day, I didn't feel that cold. But like yesterday, I don't know what it was. I think it was because it was so damp and the cloud must have been right down into the town, so it just had this really dark, grey, nasty, cold feel. It was just horrible. So I said to Matt when we got into bed, don't even think about it. You're going to have about half an hour trying to even find me anyway. So yeah, that was that. So then I woke up halfway through the night roasting because I got my socks and these trousers on. So like halfway through the night I was like trying to kick off trousers in a sleepy stupor, got them off, left my socks on. And I woke up this morning and thought that's better, because the night before it had been just as cold. It's just been horrible. Britain in January, you don't want to be here. Nobody wants to be here in January. It's horrible. It's just horrible, especially where we live. We live in quite a rural little town. So it's not quite so little anymore because there's lots and lots of people here now. But it's quite a small little town and not very much happens. So it's not a well, it is a bustling little place, but it's not like, you know, like Cheltenham or Worcester or Birmingham. It's not like you get tons and tons of activity. So it's, when it's dark and dismal and dull, it feels even more like you're isolated away. It's just this horrible feeling. Don't ever come to England in January if you were in the States. I have lots of people saying, I'd love to visit England. Don't ever come in January. Come in the summer, because in the summer there's nothing better. in Britain in the summer. If it's hot and lovely and proper summer days, then it's dreamy. But everywhere, at this time of year, at this type of weather, it's cack. So there is my Seville orange cut. I'm just going to do some planing, and then I've got half an hour before I have to take my grumpy dog home. She hates being at work, but she has to come in the morning so she's not on her own all day. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I'll see you later. Ta-ta.